everyone to episode 244 of the HurricaneKaz podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng. I'm joined with Twastell, and unfortunately, C couldn't join us this week. I think he's had a pretty busy week, and Kaz, unfortunately, is feeling a bit under the weather. So it's just going to be me and Twastell. No Kaz's corner finale yet, but it'll happen one day. How are you doing after Seattle?
Pretty good. I was able to. Luckily, I had Monday off work as well, so I was able to just like rest and catch up on all the sleep that I missed out on over the weekend.
That is definitely nice. We had a pretty big tournament, and we'll talk more about that too. But let's talk about some events first to start things off. It is indeed the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Pokemon in general, right? Or is it like specific?
Yeah,
just Pokemon in general. Yeah.
yeah, because this year's like the 10-year anniversary of Pokemon Go.
Well, yeah. I wasn't sure if like the 30th was like of like change your series or something else, but no, just Pokemon in general.
No, Pokemon in general. Like I believe, what was it? Red and Blue came out in Japan like 30 years ago.
Was it Red and Blue or was it Red and Green? Because I think Japan was like the only country where they actually had a green that came out.
Oh, was it Green in Japan and Blue? I didn't like. I was too young to play those games when they first came out, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Whatever it was that came out first in Japan, that came out like 30 years ago, like on February 27th. Like that's why February 27th is Pokemon Day.
Yeah, I just know that they didn't have green obviously in the US or other countries, I think. But
okay, then it must have been red and green then.
Yeah, I did see a picture of a Venusaur cover, which honestly is pretty cool. I was surprised that they didn't triple dip and go red, blue, and green. Because they could definitely, some people probably would have just bought all three. Admittedly, I got red and blue, luckily. So I don't actually know how that occurred in hindsight, but shout out to my mom.
It's kind of interesting to me because I feel like in general they've like made this trend of like making like 2 main games per generation with like the version exclusives in each. But it's sort of interesting how they did like red and green for some parts of the world and red and blue for other parts of the world. Like I'm just curious how that even came about.
I think red and green was the only anomaly there, and after that, like everything was consistent across the board. But yeah, it kind of makes sense in some ways when silver and gold, right? It's not based on the 3 like primary Pokemon or starter Pokemon. It's based on the 2 like
legendaries.
What the other legendary? I was gonna say the legendary birds, but the other legendary birds, right? The Gen 2.
Yeah,
birds.
no, it's like the box art legendaries.
Yeah.
Because then you had like Ruby and Sapphire, which is based on like Kyogre and Groudon.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess you could have done something with Rayquaza though for that one. If you
they did well. So that's the thing is,
but that was the third one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they always would start out with like 2 primary games, and then they'd come out with a third one later. But like for the original games, the third one was yellow, and then for like Gen 2, it was.
Is only Gen 1 the only game where they do the color of the game based on the starters? But the other ones are based on the legendaries?
I believe so, because you have like black and white is like Reshiram and Zekrom.
Yeah. So they couldn't really do 3 in general if they really even wanted to with that approach. But maybe that's why they switched to that approach instead of the starters, right? Because then otherwise it'd be like, oh, imagine Gen 2 is like a cover of Typhlosion and a Feraligatr or something, right? But there's like no Meganium. That's like really random. So
yeah.
Okay, anyway. Now that we cracked that mystery, Pokemon 30th anniversary, March 3rd to March 9th. Then the Center Go Pass stuff, you can read through that if you want. Like I said, we're not going to cover too much about that. But
and the big thing, just to say, is like they basically said, I think that like pretty much every event is going to have like a Go Pass now. So they're like getting rid of like the event tickets.
Yeah.
And now it's like a Go Pass, and so like it's going to be like a lot to keep track of because every single like one of these events seems like it's going to have a Go Pass, and then it's just going to be like deciding each time if it's like worth it for you to get the paid one or not.
I think it'd be nice if they make it so go passes you have like a whole week to claim rather than like I think what did they give you like 2 days, 3 days, or whatever. But I
Yeah,
think a week long to claim is much better in my mind
I agree.
because like
But
it's like
hey, at least
it's
it
not like
was
you can do more with it.
at least we had a little longer than the Go Wild event where Amanda missed her bottle cap.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that one was like a couple hours. At least like the Go Tour one, we had like an extra like day or two, but it's still like too short, honestly.
Is that the one that Amanda Lundberg forgot to claim
Yeah,
something?
that's what. Yeah, she
Oh,
forgot to claim her bottle cap. That's what I was saying.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's changed up a little bit there. Okay. Other than that, though, the Ditto are changing to different Pokemon in the wild during the event. Nothing too crazy. The wild encounters are just Gen 1 Pokemon. You might get an Articuno, Zapdos, or Moltres if you're lucky. I did see on Twitter this morning someone's uh, daily spawn was a shiny Zapdos. What's the odds of that?
that's gotta be really low because, like, from what I heard, people have been saying that like the rare, like the like Kanto birds are in the wild, but they're like have about the rarity that like the Lake Trio have, which is
I
like
heard it was like even more rare than that, even. But
maybe you could be right, but like they're
yeah.
like pretty rare from what I've heard. And then obviously the chances of it being your daily spawn and being shiny too is like pretty
Well, I haven't called
decent.
my daily spawn today yet, so maybe it will be a shiny Moltres. Well, honestly, I'll take a shiny any of that. I mean, I'll take a non-shiny too, but the fact that that's even a possibility is crazy. Yeah, because at first is this guy spoofing or something? But then I looked, I was like, wait, no, that was a daily spawn. Like you can't even spoof for that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Um, and I've heard like they have like pretty like tough catch rates, like similar to like the Galarian birds, I think.
mm.
Um, and I've also heard, I don't know for sure, I've heard like a little bit of conflicting info, but for the most part, I think people have been saying it seems like the CPs have all been like level 20 and above,
Okay.
which means they like wouldn't be like within Great League CP range, if that's the case.
That's probably
Um,
good when because wasn't there like
yeah,
people talking
that's
about how
part of
there's like
this event
Cobalion or
too.
something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
part of this event as we
yeah.
keep going.
So that would be
Um,
important. I know you're dying to know, but no, my daily spawn was actually a Magnemites. So
close enough.
it is electric type. That's true, just like that Zapdos. Anyway,
Also,
Pokemon.
also, I have a question.
Mhm.
Um, I couldn't figure out how to do it last night. I know there's a way in the game to like set an alert for like one Pokemon that'll
I
like
think it's in your
it's
Pokedex.
in the Poke. Okay, I was like
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
under
yeah,
settings and I couldn't find it for the life of
yeah.
me. Because people are like, oh, like you might as well like if you don't have your alert set to something else, you can set it for
Just
like
set
one
to
of the
one of the bird.
legendary birds.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do like Zapdos because I think that's the most like useful of the three right now.
I actually think it's better to do Moltres.
Why?
Because well, the odds of a Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno spawning are all the same, right? Like theoretically, so it's not like you're really losing out there. But if you're using your daily incense and a Galarian Moltres pops out, it also alert you to that, which is by far the most useful one for VP, right?
Yeah, but if you're using your daily incense, wouldn't you have your app open already?
Sometimes I just like I have it like when I'm like driving around with my app closed, you know. If I saw a
Um,
notification, I'd probably pull over. I'm not
Remember
holding my
to
phone, by the way. I'm not doing anything illegal. It's latched onto my dashboard, or whatever. Um, but I think maybe if that's the case, maybe it's too late anyway because it just comes with
yeah, I was gonna say it
incense.
might be
So
too
yeah,
late.
yeah.
I don't even because I think it alerts you based on like what's by like a nearby Pokestop or something too. So there's a chance that like you're not even by a Pokestop. Like I just don't know how that would work with an incense. I haven't experienced that before.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like I
So
was just thinking in terms of like the actual Kanto birds. I think probably Zapdos is the most useful, followed by Articuno. Um,
for those looking at the watching the YouTube version, so you just pull up your Pokédex, right? So I have Moltres as an example. Find the Pokemon in your Pokédex, and on the very right side it says Alert Off. Turn it on, and then wait, what? Oh, make sure both are in. What? Oh, okay. Adventure Sync nearby. You had to turn that on. Oh wait, what the heck? I don't even have Adventure Sync on for walking. Okay, yeah. Once you turn those settings on, you'll have the alert. But like Tristan said, you can only do it for one Pokemon. So You can't unfortunately do it for multiple legendaries, but
Choose wisely. And remember, you can like switch it around whenever you want. So like,
yeah,
I know
yeah,
some people switch it up based on like different events and stuff.
but yeah.
And then like the big part of this event that we have is the 30th anniversary All Out, which is just from Saturday at March 7th at 10 a.m. until Monday, March 9th at 8 p.m. Um, and it says you may encounter almost all Pokemon in their natural habitat that have made their Pokemon Go debuts. Most Pokemon that have ever appeared in Pokemon Go will return. Pokemon will appear in specific biomes based on their natural habitat and Pokedex entry. So explore and see what you can find. And basically, this is saying that like you can, oh, where is it?
You can
Oh,
essentially
it's
see like any type of
yes,
like legendary outside of a few.
yeah. So it says
Pokemons.
event bonuses. Instance activated during the event may lead to encounters with legendary Pokemon if you're very lucky.
Yeah,
So it's definitely going to be a time to be using incense because so there's like a handful, and we're not going to like read the whole list, but like there's a
yeah.
handful of Pokemon they say won't appear in the wild. So it's stuff like Mewtwo, like the Smeargle, Shedinja,
I'm not really
Kepler.
sure why Mewtwo, but like Zygarde makes sense, right? Zygarde not be on the list or be on the list of things you can't catch.
Yeah,
But
like
like Cosmog,
Cosmog,
yeah,
Eternatus.
Kapu, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
so
those are probably the like
it's
the Dunsparce
probably
not being able to spawn is really random. What is a Spupa? Is that what Scatterbug evolves into?
it's the middle evolution of
Okay, yeah.
Scatterbug.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Um, there's a few random ones. Like Giratina doesn't spawn for some reason. Why that? Like
I
we
don't know.
even I don't know.
I mean, there's probably some reasons they're trying to like limit some of these
Is it
Pokemon.
PV? Is it because for PvP purposes?
Maybe, but like I don't know. Like again, Mewtwo is probably just because like Mewtwo is like sort of like a like
I think they'll probably
hype
say Mewtwo for
icon,
something else.
right? Well, and it's
Maybe.
also like an
Yeah.
icon of the franchise, right? So they probably want to keep it a little more on the rare side. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
um,
but Mewtwo's not that rare anymore, like not these days at least.
but yeah, so it'll be like legendary spawning in the wild based on
Okay, but
incense.
Morpeko also makes no sense. Why is Morpeko on this list? Like Morpeko is not is it because Morpeko hasn't spawned in the wild before? Is that why? But wait,
Maybe I
hold
mean
on. What's that thing called? Honedge is not on the list, right? So
it's
Honedge
not
would be
on the
spawning in the
list.
wild.
I guess so. Yeah.
But Honedge came out way later than Morpeko. I that even makes less sense to me, but
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they have some of these like more unique, like also like something like Mousehold is on here and like Gimingle and
yeah.
stuff.
I
It's
mean
like
like
just some of the more unique Pokemon for whatever
sure.
reason they're like wanting to like limit. Um,
It also makes a little sense to me because it's never spawned in a wild before this.
yeah,
But I don't know.
but neither has Honedge, so who knows anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, that'll be a good one because it seems like there's gonna be like um a lot of Pokemon that like beyond like obviously the legendaries are like pretty cool and unique, but beyond that, like you said, it seems like Honedge might be spawning in the wild. Obviously the novelty will wear off because they announced it as a GoFest spawn, but like that means theoretically Galarian Corsola might be spawning in the wild, um,
Mhm.
which could be another good one, like stuff like that. So um,
I think it could be a fun event, but I feel like if the legendary encounters are super, super low, and like if you play all weekend and you don't even see like a single one, I feel like this event might be kind of a miss. But
yeah, it could be frustrating for
yeah,
sure. Like yeah, they feel like they need to like thread that line more because obviously they're not wanting to like give out legendaries like candy, but also if they're so rare that you might not even see one, like that's frustrating too.
hmm
Um, and like in general, like I think it's a cool idea as like a celebration of like the 30th anniversary of Pokemon and like the 10th anniversary of Pokemon Go to like have all these things out, but it also just feels like sort of an RNG crapshoot too, which is like a little frustrating because it's like, well, maybe I'll see a bunch of Honedge, but you might not see any Honedge, and like, or like maybe we both only see like one or two, and like I get the rank one, and yours is like a 15-15-0 or something, right?
Yeah.
And like that could be applied to really any Pokemon that's sort of like viable or useful. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with the legendaries because like I said, it sounds like the birds have been like level 20 and above, which makes me think maybe the legendaries thing, like all the other ones will be level 20 and above, which would mean maybe no Great League legendary, like new ones. Obviously, some things can like roll under at level 20, but like we sort of already have those.
Yeah.
Um, but if not, like if they are lower level, again, that sort of adds to the frustration, right? Because like let's say maybe everyone only ends up seeing like one legendary in the whole event. Like it adds the RNG frustration element because it's like, well, what if I get like a sub 1500 like Kabalion, but your legendary is like a 2000 CP like Key Train or something, right? Like it's so unbalanced in terms of like what mon you see in the CP and stuff. So I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a few extra bands added to the ban list in the official circuit down after this weekend
Yeah,
or
I
so
can see that
because
for sure.
I think it's like they're all level 20 encounters. What if you have like what if someone makes like a fresh account or like has or someone is just on an actual like new account and they encounter like a Cobalion Virizion? Like I think it would still be under level 20, right? So um
Yeah, yeah. So that would definitely be problematic too, and would incentivize like
you
cheating.
know what Niantic / Scopely can do? They could just make it accessible to everyone and they don't have to ban nothing, you know? Maybe everyone gets an encounter with a Virizion or a Cobalion, or there's a high chance of it, you know? I don't know. Or
But
maybe
yeah,
all raids are at level 15 instead of level 20.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Just in general, I mean, again, I don't know how this event itself is going to play out, but I think I've said this before. Like, I feel like they need to find some sort of like solution to like the Great League, like legendary / Ultra Beast accessibility issues. Um, like, and I'm not even talking about like adding in new ones like Kabalion. I just mean in terms of like improving the situation for the ones we already have, because it's like, when was the last time anyone was able to get like let's say like a Great League Raikou, either Shadow or non-Shadow? Like I feel like it's been a while, and like you could apply that to a lot of the legendaries. Like we only had like Shadow Giratina altered in rotation for like one short period, and who knows if or when that'll come back. You have stuff like obviously Giratina Origin is not that great in Great League right now, but there was only opportunity to like get one of those, and like that hasn't come back. So like I don't know like what the answer is, but I just find like that whole like Great League Legendary / Mythical / Ultra Beast accessibility problems just like be getting worse over time.
Yeah. Speaking of Ultra Beast, Legends, and etc., we have some stuff in 5-star rates. Articuno Zapdos Moltres, Deoxys, only normal form, a couple of Mythicals and Ultra Beast, so Darkrai, Genesect, No Drive on the Genesect. No Drive is crazy. Like, I thought they
Yeah,
always had
why?
some drive, but apparently it's just the basic No Drive.
No, because the
Uh,
first time we ever had it in Rays, it was like the no drive,
no,
and
no,
it
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. It's
doesn't.
just funny to like read the No Drive
Yeah,
as a descriptor. And then a bunch of Ultra Beasts, Nihilego, Buzzwolf, Pheromosa, Xerxes, but they're like
in like
specific
their
to your
different
region.
regions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
specific region. So, Guzzlord is spawning in the raids as well, which could be a good one because Guzzlord is pretty solid in Great League
yeah,
right
Guzzler's
now.
pretty good right now, and the
Yeah.
nice thing is that that's one of the ones where you can like get it at level 20 and roll it under,
Mhm.
depending on like how your luck goes. So
Exactly. That's the one I have. That's how I'm using mine. Stuff on the Chrosmo, stuff like that. But that's pretty much the event.
also,
So
I'm not gonna read the list, but they have a 2K egg pool with like a million things in them. I feel like this
yeah,
is like the longest egg pool I've ever seen. It's
yeah,
like just
that's
like
why I
the
didn't
odds
use it.
of getting what you want is like kind of wild.
We'll see
Uh,
how the spawns look though for the weekend and see how that goes. Hopefully it's good, but I don't want to get my hopes up.
yeah.
All right.
One other thing my critique of 96 / Scopely is like I don't understand like the Pokemon Presents. they like mostly covered like Go Tour, which everyone already knew was happening, and then there was like a tiny teaser for this event with like no explanation of what it meant, and like I don't understand why they didn't just like make this the focus of their Pokemon Presents announcement, because this was something new, and if you focus on like, oh, you could find legendary Pokemon in the wild, like
They
that's
don't want
like
to
actually
oversell it though if it's not good.
I
Well,
guess, but
what
like
did they actually mention? Oh, that all shinies, whatever that have been
no,
out.
they didn't even mention that. They just like teased. They just had like a little video of like a bunch of Pokemon or something, and they were like, "Oh, the 30th anniversary event or whatever. Like, you can find I don't remember, but it was like a tiny little thing. And I feel like if they focused on this event, I feel like that's a good way to appeal to both like new players or like relapse players as well as like hardcore players. Like
That makes
the
me
whole
think the
like
spawns will be really low though. That it won't. It's not even worth them advertising.
maybe I guess, but like there was like a little teaser for it. But again, I always find it frustrating because I feel like the Pokemon Presents like Go is always like the most underwhelming if I'm being honest, because usually it's just like, oh, we have Go Tour coming up, or oh, we have Go Fest or Go Fest finale, and like when it seems like they also have other exciting events or features coming that they could focus on instead.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just my 2 cents. But
Mm, I haven't watched the whole thing, but I feel you there. Okay. Well, speaking of different Pokemon games, we have Pokopia coming out, and there's a Pokemon Pokopia celebration event. I want to buy the game because it's like apparently the highest rated Pokemon game of all time so far, based on reviews. But you need a whole Switch 2 for it, which I don't know if I'm going to buy a new Switch just for one game, but that is part of it. Anyway,
yeah,
so
it also just depends like what kind of game you like, because like I've heard this game likened to like sort of like the Pokemon version of Animal Crossing almost. So like
yeah.
some people really enjoy that kind of game, and other people that's like not really their cup of tea. So
Hmm.
it just depends like if you're interested in that kind of game too. But yeah, I've heard very good reviews for the game. So
Yeah. Well, this will start on March 10th, so right after the last event until March 16th. Ditto wearing a hat, Ditto wearing a cap are both coming to the game. I love how they put hat and cap as if like they're like two different things, even though they're kind of synonymous.
yeah, I
Obviously the
think
hat
that
and cap. I don't know which one's the hat and which one's the cap. Is the
right.
cap the
I don't
one like
either.
baseball cap one? Is that the cap? Because the other one's not really. It's like a safari hat, so I guess that
I
makes sense.
guess so. Yeah, the terminology is kind of funny though, but yeah,
Yeah,
the costumes are pretty fun, I have to say.
yeah,
Um, and just one other thing to note, I mentioned this to Caleb before we started recording. I've noticed that, and they sort of said this in like the season announcement, that like events are going to follow like a regular structure. It seems like our events now are going from like Tuesday at 10 a.m. until Monday at 8 p.m. That seems like the standard for like all the events, at least that we've seen throughout like the announced like March events so far. So that seems like sort of just a regular cadence to expect for events, which is kind of nice just from a consistency standpoint, knowing when events are going to start and end. Because it used to be like, oh, well, this event is like a whole week, and this event is 5 days, and this event is 3 days, and it's like hard to keep track of when stuff ends.
hmm
And hopefully that means our next Rocket Takeover event is Tuesday to Monday. Fingers crossed,
oh,
because those are always too short.
that's true. Oh, I forgot a TM off frustration on some of my Pokemon. I just realized.
I mean,
Um,
I even tagged you, reminded you, and
Yo,
everything.
there's way too much going on this past weekend.
I mean, you're not wrong, because it was that, and then there was
And
like
then the
all
evolve
those,
thing.
yeah, there's like all those legacy moves,
Yeah.
on top of just like playing Go Tour, like doing the Seattle Regional, like all that stuff. There was
For what
definitely a
it's
lot going
worth, there's not too much that I really missed out on TMing. I could have maybe gotten a slightly better Shadow Altaria. Not even. Yeah. No,
I
anyway.
think the main things I ended up like that were like big additions for me in terms of teaming and evolving was like the Kalos starters, like a Shadow Greninja, like Shadow Chestnut, because those were ones that I had like missed TMing on the last Rocket event, and then being
Hmm.
able to just immediately TM them and then evolve them to their moves was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Um, And I really did like that combo of both. I know like Speedy like happened to get like a really good like Shadow Magikarp from Cliff during the weekend, and then he was able to like TM it and evolve it for Aqua Tail like right off the bat, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is very nice. Yeah, I wish I didn't elite TM mine so hastily while team building for Seattle and never end up running it, but
But
might have been something I did. Anyway, I didn't even do like a practice tournament or scrims with it. I just like was screwing around and I was just like, yeah, this might be good. And I ended up taking off my team anyway, which probably was for the best. I don't think it was actually great for Seattle, but okay, event bonuses for this event. The Pokopia event. 2 times XP for spinning Pokestops, 10 times XP for spinning a Pokestop for the first time, increased chance of encountering Shiny Sudowoodo and Shiny Zorua. In the wild, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Pikachu, Squirtle, Sudowoodo, Zorua, and more are coming out. They're all obviously can be shiny. Raids, Lapras, Snorlax, Dragonite, nothing too crazy. A lot more Gen 1 stuff, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much it
yeah,
for the
it's
events.
not like in terms of like PvP usefulness, it's not really the best event. I think most of the event is just um focused on like these costume Dittos, which makes sense because Ditto is like sort of one of the key Pokemon in this Pokemon Pokopia, or however you say it,
Yeah,
game. So it's mostly
Pokopia.
Pokopia. Yeah, it seems like mostly just like a shiny hunt for these costume Dittos, which
Yeah,
again, I am a fan of the costumes, but yeah,
yeah.
not the
Okay,
most PvP useful event.
we're going to skip down to Championship Series because that was in the last meta, and then we'll talk more about this upcoming meta or this current meta that just came out and dropped. But we were both indeed at Seattle, and I had some brief stream appearances, mostly because of the delays. Because my call time was like 11:15, and I don't think my table started playing until like maybe 3 p.m. or so. A lot of delays, unfortunately, and funny enough, it wasn't on the Pokemon Company, it wasn't on Niantic or Scopely. It wasn't even the Wi-Fi of the venue. No, it was Apple that was messing things up. So people that might know Dappertus, you could look this up on Twitter, but he tweeted out like a funny image of it.
Oh
But
my god.
essentially what happened was it was like an iPhone settings issue where while you're battling, a pop-up will come up about some ID verification or something, and you can either press not now or settings. And if you accidentally click settings, it takes you to settings page. If you press not now, it goes away. But then I think it comes back up again, like 2 times or something. I don't know. But anyway, either way, even if you press not now and it doesn't take you to settings, there's still a pop up on your screen that's stopping you from tapping in the middle of the battle. Um, and yeah, I personally didn't experience it myself, but a lot of people were, and they had rematch games and stuff like that, and just like really threw the rhythm off. And of course, our judge is trying to fix it. So again, not really a fault of the game or anything, but
Well, and then there was even a period where they literally had to like pause like all the matches on the floor in
yeah,
order to like fix the situation.
that's how I
And
end up
then
being on stream. Like otherwise, I probably wouldn't have. But I was on stream for both my round 1 and round 2 match because they're just like trying to burn time, and because the stream phones were working, but not the floor phones, right? So just pull random
yeah,
matchups that like
right,
typically won't see at that point,
right.
and
And they were also I think just trying to like get some matches done just so
yeah.
some people would be a little farther in the bracket too, like doing the
Well,
best they
yes and
can.
no, because like even if like let's say they grab me on for round 1, I still had to wait for everyone else in my bracket to finish round 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't think it actually sped up too much, but it kept the stream going at least, and yeah. But players
Yeah,
are there late,
it was a
like
long day. Like
yeah,
legitimately I heard that go like normally like TCG is like the longest game and like they're there the latest. And I heard that the last go matches were there later than the TCG people.
dude. I
It's
think it was close to nine
crazy.
p.m. I think it was actually close to 9 p.m. for it to finish because we were looking at the bracket while we're eating dinner, and like
Yeah,
Abhinav still was. I forgot who Abhinav was playing in the loser finals, but he didn't finish until like 9 p.m. Like I was done with my dinner, and I left the venue late. I left at like 7:30 or almost 8, I think. So
yeah.
um,
That's such a long day. I mean,
yeah,
the only good thing, I guess, obviously it's not a great experience and I feel bad for those people, but the people that were there so late were in like the last like one or two groups mostly. which means their call time at least wasn't till later. But some of them might have just shown up at like 9 a.m. anyways, just to like be there at the start. So they
Well,
could have been there
I
for like
think at
12
least
hours.
based on my experiences so far, like with the Top Cut in this season, you still have the same call time as everyone else, even if you start later.
No, I'm talking about day one.
Oh, day one. I see what you're saying.
Right,
Yeah,
because the
that's true.
people that were there the
That's true. That's true.
latest
That's
were
true. Yeah,
from the
I see.
latest groups.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that is fair. Um, but it's still a long day.
Oh,
Even if you call
without a doubt.
11, 15, you're still there till like 9 p. Like that's still like 10 hours, right?
Yeah, that's exhausting for
Um,
sure.
but anyway, so that was unfortunate, but again, iPhone issue more than anything else. Which in the past we've been like, hey, that's great, but there's still unfortunately word delays. Anyway, it was a great tournament though overall. StoneCollection was the one to win it all. First time a European has won a tournament in NA, but we had a European win in LATAM already on Nesbiethan, so and not the first. Well, definitely not the first in NA for a non-NA player to win it. Particularly Steiner. Pittsburgh this year. Was there anyone other ones? I don't think so. Yeah, but the game is definitely getting more international based, even at regional events, which is cool to see. And StoneCollection kind of been on a heater as of late. He's been playing really, really well.
Yeah,
Got third
I
place in
think
Toronto, first place here.
I
And
will say I feel like it's helping him playing a little bit less spice. I think playing.
oh, true. He used to be the big spice guy. I mean, like not like crazy spice like Tauntaun Batu spice, but he'd always have at least like one really random thing. Like a Samrot was his like main thing for the longest time. But I think he had like a bunch of other things too.
Yeah,
Uh,
he would always run like some like slightly funky stuff, and like not that his teams are like 100% meta either. Like he's been running a lot of Unova Stunfisk, which like hasn't been as meta in
he's run it
NA.
every single tournament. This GBL meta. I
And
think
even like
even last season
and like
too. Actually,
even like his team comp this time was like, even though it was like pretty much all meta Pokemon, like he was running double dragon, which like no one else has done as far as I'm aware, with like Altaria and Guzzlord. So like even though it's like all
that's
pretty
true.
much meta Pokemon, like it is still a little bit of his own
Yeah,
spin on things. Also, like he was running the Shadow Sizzler when like most people are using Empoleon as their like main steel. Obviously, like
yeah.
double steel is pretty popular, but most people are like Empoleon Corviknight. He was running the Sizzler Corviknight.
He ran back
Um,
the same team he ran at Birmingham for 17th, which is also only one slot different than his Toronto team, which was Guzzlord for Furret. Um, so yeah,
yeah, and
he's been
like
enjoying it.
obviously, it seems like some level of consistency can be helpful too. Like,
Absolutely.
because if he's been playing basically the same team for like 3 tournaments plus like all the prep he's probably done, like he's probably pretty comfortable with that team. It feels a little bit similar to Geometry winning back-to-back tournaments with like the same team like a
Yeah,
couple weeks apart. Like obviously like you need to be able to like
couple weeks
adapt to
apart. I
like
think it was literally just 1 week apart, right?
it was like 2 weekends. It was like
Okay.
a weekend off, and then another weekend.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
But again, like obviously you need to like adjust to like any sort of like meta shifts. But at the same time, I think there is something to be said
You
about
know,
consistency too, like and
for
just
what it's
knowing your
worth,
team well.
he hasn't really been running that much spice. I mean, you can maybe make the argument that he ran Shadow Charizard at Worlds. It was maybe spice, but outside that, even if you look at last year's run, he hasn't run anything too crazy off meta. Actually, they're all been actually very meta teams across the board. Like,
I
and he
remember
runs a lot of the same stuff.
there was a period that he was like running like Shadow Sableye a lot when like no one else really
Yeah,
was.
that
Was that
was
like 2 years ago?
2024. Yeah,
Okay, fair
2024.
enough, fair
But he was
enough.
like he ran Shadow Sableye in like every tournament too. So he actually doesn't switch his team up very often, which I think has worked out well for him for consistency's sake. Um, yeah, I mean, even 2023, he wasn't running anything too crazy. Like he had some Pelipper, but like,
When did
yeah,
he run the crazy Clodsire though?
the crazy Clodsire. Oh, the one.
The
I know.
Stone
Yeah,
Edge Sludge
yeah.
Bomb Clod?
That was Stuttgart. Yeah,
What's
2025.
okay?
Yeah.
So
But
like even though like Quagsire itself is meta, like that moveset is definitely like sort of
true, yeah,
pretty
he was
spicy
running that
Pokemon.
moveset for a couple tournaments. One, two, three, four tournaments in a row. I
But yeah,
mean, yeah,
big congrats to him. Like he's been like up there with like good results for quite a while, but like this is his first
yeah.
regional win. I think he's gotten like second and third like a couple times.
Just once of each. Yeah.
Okay.
It was that he did technically win the London LCQ, but I wouldn't call that like a tournament win. That's just like a qualification event. But yeah, he got third at Toronto, Stuttgart second place last year, which was the Sludge Bomb Stone Edge variant, and then he wins it all this time. Really well played too. I didn't get to finish watching the grand finals because I was on the train going to the airport at that point. But uh, yeah, so he won it all. Out of
Yeah.
Pocky got second. Also another strong performance from him. Doombug third place. Again, a great strong performance from him. And then Gerald back on the podium or that top four finish with a Grumpig actually.
Yeah, the Grumpig was a lot of fun to see.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it
and
actually
then yeah,
looked pretty strong too.
well, and then it was interesting because yeah, like I feel like a lot of our top eight like had like unique picks, like Gerald with the Grumpig, Junebug with the Shadow Malamar, which like no one else was really running and seemed to do pretty well for him. Pocket with the Alolan Ninetales, um, which didn't see much play elsewhere, and sort of Ice types seemed to be some good anti-meta picks this week because Absol trained best was running a Whale Ring as well as Spinal Boss AJ with a Shadow Whale Ring, both in the top eight as well.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Fire Siren, Cheese Curl round out the top eight. I think this is probably Cheese Curl's best performance that I'm aware of so far. But
Yeah,
he
I
played
think
really
they
well
said on
too.
broadcast it was his like first day too, so like
It was Final Boss
big
AJ's
shout out to
first day
him.
too, as well. I know she's
Yeah,
been hunting for that for a while too. So
and
congrats to
she
both
played
of them.
really well. She took down some big players, and she beat like JJ and she beat Beanbug.
Yep.
Um, and then day two, I know she beat like existing monkey, and I'm probably forgetting a few other people that she beat, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she definitely took down some top players, and just she's just seemed really locked in, like made some good reads, made some good plays. Um,
Yeah.
so like shout out to her for a really big performance.
Dude, Caspian Pike, that guy, first ever tournament, gets the top 16. Came from my bracket, actually. I didn't face him, but he did beat a lot of players to get there. He's apparently a local of mine too. But he's only been to like one local tournament, and I wasn't there at that one. So I was like, who is this guy, right? No Dracovis data at all. Oh, wait, he did get first place in GBL once. What the heck? When was that? Uh, peak. Wait, this guy is like big on the. His peak rank in Delightful Season was like 4, Might Mastery 3. This guy is actually quite good at GBL. 2 on Dual Destiny, 5 on Max Out. Dude, he's actually like hit like top 5 on the leaderboards for GBL like multiple times. Um,
Well, and I think he's got a decent bit of show sticks experience too, because he does Battlefront here. He just still hasn't done like big
yeah, but how
seasons, but
much
like
Battlefront? Because Battlefront is fairly new, right? Did he do like Sylph as well?
maybe. I mean, Battlefront has been out for like 2, 3 years now.
When did he hit rank 1? Oh my gosh. He hit rank 1 in season 8 of GBL. Season of Mischief. That was years ago. This guy's been GBLing and playing for a while.
Wait, there's a season of Mischief. I
It
don't
was
not
season
remember
8.
that. I don't
Season 8.
remember that one at all.
Well, it's a couple years ago. That's why. Yeah, they used it was called Season Celebration, Season of Legend, Season of Discovery, Season of Mischief. I guess they would just name it Season of something for a while. Um. Anyway, that is that's something, I guess. But he's a local mine, and he obviously upset a lot of players to get to day 2. So looking forward to seeing how he performs. And he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't really considering worlds and stuff, um, but I think he said his brother lives in San Francisco or something, and so he's like, maybe I'll have a shot." I was like, "Yeah, you definitely do."
I mean, if he's your local, he'll have LA right in his backyard, and then maybe just needs to do like another tournament
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And I told him too. I was like, NEIC is a lot of points as well, so um, you could get a lot
It
just doing
is
that.
like if you're just trying to do like one other event, it's definitely worth doing NAIC because there's more points on the line.
Yeah, I wonder if he
But
just
I
does LA
will
and he performs well, he could just do NAIC.
But
But
I will say, like, relying on NEC for your world's qualification is like super stressful. And, like,
oh
don't
yeah,
rec-
you know something about that?
yeah, both years I qualified, I had to get points at NEC to get there. Um, and definitely would have preferred to have like locked up some more points before that if I could have.
yeah,
So like, if that's what it comes down to, like, good luck, do your best. But if you're able to like get some more points in advance, I would definitely recommend it just to take a little bit of that pressure off.
yeah, definitely. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much Seattle. It was fun.
We had
I
a
did.
Bastion mirror on stream.
Oh, dude. And it wasn't the Bastion. Okay, the Bastion was definitely annoying. So I this was a stream match. It was me versus Will D, the infamous Will D, running the same exact team at Toronto. It was the brick break ferret, man. I didn't have anything for that because, like, I could complain all day and say I got RPS, but I didn't get RPS. Like I had a lot of matchups I wanted. It's just that I just nothing could do well. And like I knew it was going to be in the back. I knew it'd be like a ferret and a Bastion. They're both really strong to my team, and I just didn't know how to play around it. I think I could have played it. I definitely could have played it better, but it was a tough one. And
Dude, I lost it when the casters are like, this Bastion Ferret core looks really good into Caleb's team.
Bro, I've been telling Anacore this for years, right? Like this guy just didn't run it, and if he just ran the Will D team, he probably would have made it further in his tournaments as well. But I
But
mean,
I
maybe
just
I
I
would have
just
too if I just ran
absolutely
that team. I just didn't have a toad screw, and it was also just not my playstyle. But yeah,
but yeah,
uh,
that Ferret was like so freeing to you, and then you didn't have a lot of Bastion answers either. And
yeah,
the fact you even won one of those games was honestly kind of impressive.
yeah. Well, the
It
only reason
helped
why I
that you
won
save
the
swapped the
yeah, he
Wiggly.
stays while wiggling, and I got a ton of energy and farm on my Bastion. Like if he didn't do that, it would have been hard. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I know I got like steamrolled by like elites, um, and I've had some other tough matchups in the past, but I feel like this was by far the hardest team comp I've ever had to face. Mainly because I didn't have an answer to the ferrets, right? Like into elite seemed like the lone sand slash was strong, but like I had things I could play neutrally into it or could hard counter it with like my meta champ. I had literally nothing for that ferret. And I was just sitting there scratching my head, be like, dude, how do I take this thing out? I'm throwing like resisted like damage from like Jelson, even though I resist their damage, or I'm taking super effective on my Bastion. Everything that I usually answer the ferret with, I couldn't. Corviknight, Bastion, which I had to bring, but they both are just way weaker to the Brick Break variant.
Yeah.
And the ferret's strong enough to beat the ghost, without Trailblaze. So, you know, we'll see. I'm very curious what Will D runs in this new meta because that strategy ain't gonna work. Mud slap, Smackdown, none of it's gonna work.
Watch them just run it anyways, and people are still weak to
Yeah,
Bastion.
I don't even know. Speaking of the new season, let's talk about that because that did finally launch. A few changes that we didn't know exactly of before, but we kind of speculate on energy value. So, Twister is a Sludge Aqua Jet clone. Heat Wave is a Rockslide Surf clone. Waterfall is a Fire Spin clone. Low Kick is a Metal Sound clone, which I think you mentioned last week. And I think this update is it feels like kind of like a throwback update in a way. Like a lot of things that used to be good, like are back to being like decent, and things that like some of the things that were buffed in the past few years are like falling out of the meta, like Mud Slappers, Bastion's back to uh, getting a damage reduction, um, charge attack pressure and low fast attack damage is like the name of the game. And I don't even think the new like PvP update has even rolled out to everyone, but once that does, it's going to be even more crucial. But right now, like even like the way you play Annihilape is very different. I know I made a tier list on this, and some people seem to think Annihilape is like broken now or so good. I don't think so. Right. So here's the thing with low kick, you generate energy faster. So you pretty much have to run low kick if you're Annihilape. Otherwise you just lose every mirror. So that's like weird, right?
Says the guy famous for dynamic punch meta chain back in the day.
See, yeah, but there was a reason for that one, there's no reason really to run the counter besides like slightly better matchups. So here's the thing with low kick, right? It does so little damage that it actually makes Annihilape a lot safer in its bad matchups, right? Because you pace faster to Rage Fist for like the ghost types. It's not like you're doing much damage to the counter in general. You pace faster into like maybe like Altaria, but the problem is you're not really running Ice Punch, right? So maybe that's not even that good. But the downside is you're worse in some of your good matchups. Like you lose the 2 shields into Empoleon if you counter swap Empoleon. That's awkward. That's real awkward because then like that's just like Empoleon could just flip switch advantage on you like that, right? If they want to. You're probably worse into stuff like Licky Licky as well because if you don't land the close combat, they shield it. Now you're taking double super effective damage, or like for it actually it's probably a better example because it's not like Licky Licky is throwing super effective like body slam or like roll out at you, right? So they still have to land the shadow
well,
ball.
and the shadow ball probably like one shots or almost one shots.
Yeah, everyone's running pretty much non-shadow Annihilape, which is probably for the best. Shadow Annihilape, dude, this is my litmus test of how good things are in the rankings. Shadow Annihilape's ranked lower than a Shadow Duat right now. With low kick. So, but
no, isn't it on counter in the rankings?
Well, counter would actually make more sense. For no, it's on shadow. It's on low kick. Duat's still ranked higher.
Okay, he must have changed that.
Yeah. But yeah, Shadow Knight is 122. Non-Shadow is 12, which makes more sense because you want to survive long enough to get more moves off. It's not like your fast attack damage is doing anymore, and a lot of times if your Rage Fist doesn't KO anyway, like you probably need to throw a second one. It's not like you low kick a lot of things down with landing a low kick. Oh, landing with Rage Fist. So the non-Shadow Annihilape is better. I did face one that was running Shadow Ball Rage Fist, which is interesting. Not something that's still not. It doesn't win you like Jellicent or anything like that, but maybe in some situations
you could catch some people off guard, but at the same
definitely
time,
in GPL, yeah.
Like, but again, like if you're against like a Licky Licky, you just lose.
What
now?
do you do?
Like,
Yeah.
That's so weird. Even
like,
I just pulled up the rankings and it still has Shadow and with encounter, so I'm not sure. Maybe I just need to like my cash or something. I don't know.
Let me see. Okay, now okay. So when I was looking at it, when I was simming it, for my tier list, it had low kick, but then now that I refreshed it, because it had like preview next season, now it's like just one. It has counter. And you know why? Because counter Shadow Annihilape is actually better with Rage Fist and Ice Punch than the low kick Rage Fist close combat variation. So it actually does bump it back up. But it's because that's counter, not because that's low kick. So I think if you're running Shadow Annihilape, well, it's just again, you can't really run. It's just you can't run counter anymore if other people are using Annihilape, just flat out because you just hard lose, right? The mirror, and they can shield your Rage Fist and not even have to worry about it, and they still get outpaced, right? So,
but the low kick pacing is so much better.
Yeah. So I think that's so that's why I was saying, like, in a way, Annihilape was nerfed with the low kick because you can't run the counter anymore feasibly if everyone else is running Annihilape. But because of that, it's worse into its positive matchups. It's better into its negative matchups for the most part, outside like Altaria, right? Because Altaria, you need the Ice Punch, and now like you can't really run low kick Rage Fist Ice Punch, right? Like you're gonna just lose to every Licky Licky, you know. But yeah, so I think that's why I was saying that in a way it's kind of a nerf, in a way it's kind of a buff, but it's not like crazy OP. I was looking at some people's tier lists and I was some of them were some head scratchers, not gonna lie. I don't remember this guy's name. This is a Japanese guy. He had like Gyarados in like A tier or something. And Stumpf is at like C tier. I was like, what? I was like, I don't know about that. Stumpf did get a slight nerf though with the Mud Bomb nerf, but but a lot of things that it's throwing like Thundershock Discharge to are like top meta still. So
for sure.
I don't know why
it should take it down a little bit though.
Yeah. I think like Accent put like Annihilape in like S tier meta defining, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I haven't really played much yet to say. I know some people have been saying that it's like really good though. But like obviously they're also playing in GBL, which is a little different than 6-6.
Yeah.
But some people have been saying like at least in GBL, like um that they like if they can like get a shield advantage for Annihilate, they can usually just like sweep the back line with it sort of deal.
Shelgon is actually surprisingly like pretty annoying to deal with if you don't have great answers for it. It is walled off by Azumarill, but like there's not. I mean, outside that Azumarill typing, there's not much that's going to like completely walled off like that.
Yeah,
And
because like
the Twister one
flamethrowers, like
hurts.
yeah, well, flamethrower is pretty good coverage for steel types too, and
Yeah,
like Twister's like a good move now, right? Like it's
yeah,
like we said, it's a sludge or aqua jet clone.
yeah,
Like it hits like decently hard. Same type of attack bonus on top of that, and like you pace there pretty quickly as well.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, Twister's quite good. That's probably why that person. I still think they were coping on the Gyarados, but that's probably why they were ranking the Gyarados high. It's because of Twister.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't necessarily see it personally,
No,
especially
definitely
for like open. I think Gyarados would
no.
definitely
Well,
still be good in like limited metas.
Azuma walls that moveset off too, so there's that.
Yeah, I mean
And
Gyarados was always getting walled by
if you drop Twister, right, and you have Twister Aqua Tail, you're not even that good into Jellicent anymore. So
Yeah,
um
that is the problem. Some of these Pokemon have like some awkward moveset choices now.
yeah.
Um,
Please, Niantic, give us 3 move charge attacks. That would make things so much nicer. So much nicer.
Honestly, yeah,
But anyway.
Florges would be pretty nutty with 3 moves.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 5 to like well yeah, it would be it's 5 to disarm your voice too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just straight 5s for everything. So
or you
um
could run like the 2 5s with like Moonblast moving because you have two cheat moves.
yeah.
Like there'd be different.
Drapion would be super safe because right now one of the things that holds it back is like like Gunsword is like resist everything it throws, but
Yeah,
now with Sludge Bomb, dude. Also, Drapion would be crazy into Azumarill. You'd
yeah,
like yeah, that Pokemon would actually be kind of insane. I mean, luckily it doesn't have the crazy stat product, but you have like near perfect coverage into
yeah.
things that typically wall it off too. So um,
Annihilate would be pretty good too because you could
be
actually run the
must
Ice
have that
Punch.
one. Oh yeah,
You could
true.
actually run
Yeah,
the Ice Punch.
I mean, hey, low kick, close combats, Rage Fist, Ice Punch. That actually might be a pretty nasty combo.
That sounds kind of
Even
terrifying because you have ghost coverage for the psychic and ghost types, and you have Ice Punch coverage for like the flying types.
yeah, it's
And then close combat just nukes everything like
actually
usually.
Metacham would be pretty nice too if you give it psychic. It'll make it a lot
Yeah.
safer. Metacham I had pretty high on my tier list. Maybe I shouldn't have. But I think it's really really solid neutrally. It's just Jellicent and Azuma walled off. You're running Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch.
Yeah, it's strong neutrally and it does break that Altaria and Polion core on top of that. But yeah, it does get walled off. Um, so like that's because that's the thing too. It's like even it's gonna be a little more niche, but I think like Mudshot Poliwrath could also be interesting because it would pay straight 5s to both IQ and Dynamic Punch, but it has a similar problem with the Medicham where like they're both probably pretty good neutrally and they both break Impul and Altaria, but they're both gonna get totally walled off by a Azumarill and by Jellicent.
What do we think about Heat Wave? I feel like Heat Wave's not really doing much here. It's just not good
Um,
enough of a move. I think nothing with Heat Wave is like even recommends Heat Wave until like you get Togetic, which is like 140 overall. Great league.
yeah, I just don't think like like in a vacuum, like Rock Slide and Surf are like pretty decent moves. But like you said, the real problem is that basically everything that has Heat Wave just like isn't good enough. And like I feel like Heat Wave could have been buffed more, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because it like again, I'm not complaining because it went from a totally garbage, unusable move to something that's like at least viable. But I feel like they could have pushed that needle further to actually make the move more useful to things.
yeah, I think so too. Um, like the thing is, there's just nothing really good that even learns Heat Wave. So maybe outside of Ninetales, that's about it. I don't think Pidgeot's back by any means.
Ninetales wouldn't even really run it. Like literally,
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah. Like it's got to be
pro-
better than Weather Ball for you to drop Weather Ball for
yeah,
it.
probably like the best thing that learns it is like Macargo, and like that's not even like really thing.
It's at 292. Right now, it's still
But
recommended to
like
have an overheat.
Magcargo can be like kind of annoying in limited metas.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but it's still recommended
but
to even run
still,
overheat actually on my cargo.
yeah, that makes sense.
But
Um, and then I think probably one of the other big winners is actually the waterfall. Um, because it only lost one damage while gaining two energy, which is like a pretty significant buff. Um,
mm, it'll probably just only help really Kyogre, right? Nothing else is really that much of a waterfall appreciator.
Probably, they're gonna be more niche, but I've heard people talking a little bit about like Dondozo and Alomomola. Um,
That's definitely
because
niche.
both
Like,
like they're both like super bulky and have like pretty high zero weight or
yeah,
zero
Dondozo is
win
all the way
rates.
at 55, which again is still better than Shadow Annihilape of every moveset combination. But um Dondozo is pure water, right? Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Some guy was running Dondozo in inadequate practice tournaments like every day. I faced him too. What was that guy's name? He posted about it in our team chat about some guy. Like we weren't actually gonna recruit him, but you're saying how like a team broke up.
I don't remember.
It was something anyway, but this guy was running Dondozo like legit in show 6 Great League for like championship series practice. And
Like before or after the make update?
no, before, like this was last week when I was prepping
Oh,
for
that's crazy.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when I was prepping for something like that. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but uh
Because like looking at the wins and losses, it actually doesn't look too terrible. Like I'm not saying it's going to be top meta, but I feel like it's one of those Pokemon where if you're not ready for it, it can kind of hit you
yeah, yeah, definitely.
because it's just like super bulky and like Waterfall still hits pretty hard, but has like better pacing. But yeah, I agree. It's probably primarily going to benefit the Kyogre still. Um, which is a pretty big buff for the Coyote because it's going to pace like 5-4 to like Surf or Avalanche.
Yeah.
And like with that pacing too, like you probably could afford to run like either Origin Pulse or Thunder if you wanted, along with the Avalanche. Um, I'll be curious to see like what movesets people actually end up running.
On PvPoke right now, it's recommended to have Avalanche and Origin Pulse actually for Kyogre, but we'll see. I think Surf is very valid for that too. Yeah, there's just not too many other waterfall users. But Aloma Mull is all the way at 480 in Open Great League, but again, it
Yeah,
always has some limited meta
I
usage.
think the Dondozo is probably just better than Alomomola.
Yeah,
The main
dude.
thing with Waterfall is going to be like I feel like it's going to be just like a nuisance in like a Battle Frontier type format because someone can just like flex like their Empoleon or their like Kingdra or their Seeking or something, Golisopod over to like Waterfall depending on the matchup.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So that's just like when you're gonna have to like watch out for it, even though it's gonna have like a little bit less like pure open relevance, but like in formats where you can change the move set, you have to like watch out for that.
Hmm.
Because like suddenly like an Empoleon is just like totally cooking like your Talonflame, or even like being like pretty solid into like your ground type or something.
Yeah. That's pretty much going to do it for that. We'll see how the new season looks and everything. First tournament is.
Have you played it? Have you played much yet or not
I only
really?
played my first days of GBL battles. That's it. Yeah, I haven't done any like show 6 or anything like that.
Yeah, what did you play so far? Have you liked anything or
Yeah, I was running. Oh, so Chargebug is ranked not very high, but Chargebug is really good in a water meta, especially with a lack of grass. The only annoying thing was really just I did run to a Bastion lead, but they had I say swapped a Jellicent and they had a Torterra in the back, and I won that with the Jellicent because the Mudslap does so little now, even after taking a Sand Tomb. and I flipped switch and I had a Annihilape for their Bastion, and I forget what their third was. Oh, the third was it was a Shadow Waterfall Gyarados.
What the heck?
I mean, it was all fast attack pressure, right? You got the Smackdown, you got the Mud Slap, you got the Waterfall, but like none of those, all three of those fast attacks got nerfed. Like in terms of damage, it just don't
Damage,
work no
yeah.
more. Like even the
Yeah.
Waterfall, even though yeah they're using as a new move, like got buffed, but not for like that team. Like you don't run that team like that. I don't think you could run just fast attack strategies consistently anymore in GPL, which I'm sure a lot of people are happy about, and I personally don't mind. But when you see the Bastion, I'm just like, bro, this is a joke. Like you can handle this easy. It was my charge bug into it. It was no problem. Even if I lost switch advantage, like my Annihilate probably steamrolls the backline. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I only played like a handful of battles.
yeah,
Again, it's hard to tell because it's like still at like super low rank, but
yeah.
like Fortress felt pretty good, I have to say.
You're running bug bite or
Um,
volt switch?
I was running Volt Switch.
I think volt switch makes
Um,
more sense in this meta, but it's a little. It
I
just
think
feels slow. But yeah,
I think both are valid depending on like what you're trying to do in your team comp. But like definitely like the extra staying team damage is definitely noticeable. Like you actually have some like obviously it's still not the best damage output, but you have like some actual ground damage now,
yeah,
as opposed to like having to rely on like only the rock team. And like having that double debuffs is kind of nice too. Um, and then I was playing a little bit of like Shadow Flygon, which like is not gonna ultimately cut it in like open, but it is pretty fun with like the Twister and the same thing.
yeah. The pacing is nice. You didn't try any Shelgon because I feel like
Not
Shelgon's like
yet.
the slightly better version of that now.
Yeah, I could see that. I just like copied the theme someone else that they were using that was like doing pretty well because I like didn't have a lot of time and didn't have like the brain power to think the theme. So I was like, I'll just mess around with this and see what's up.
Yeah,
But yeah, I could see the Shelgon being better. It's bulkier. Has mostly better typing probably because you're not like you actually resist like water and grass, which the Flygon doesn't.
yeah.
Um,
Uh, but okay. That's the new season. We'll see how it develops. I think I'll be fine. I don't think again like it's the playstyles can be a little different. There's not really too much like like Pokemon that got new moves that is good, right? Like, is there anything besides like Annihilate? It's just a different Annihilate playstyle, right? But like, is anything really using their new move?
Not really.
Yeah, maybe Fortress a little bit, but like it's like
That's not even like a new move because
yeah,
Fortress was kind of running that
like when I
anyways.
was GBLing yesterday, I was just like, I feel like I'm using just the same stuff I've used in the past, Um, it's not a bad thing. It's not like this past meta update where we had like, Gorgeist and like Shadow Tyranitar, like those obviously weren't like super meta defining, but there was some like play in it, especially in the like other leagues and limited metas. But for this one, it's like, hey, no one really using Gliscor, right? Or
I mean,
Pidgeot.
I've heard some people using it and said it was like pretty fun and pretty good, but again, it could just be a symptom of like
Early.
being
Yeah.
early season because like
Because people
there's
said Shadow Tyranitar was good in Great League last season too, and that definitely fell off. Like I was like, what? Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of these things too where it's a combo of like early season, so you're having some easier battles, and also like
mhm.
people are just like trying the new stuff because it's like fun and exciting when like, and so like if it starts like doing decently well, like it seems good and fun sort of a deal, right? So like it's hard to really say for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what else like even gotten? I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? If we can't even think of it off the top of our head, it's just not that good. Shelgon. Shelgon's probably like the one of the better things.
Yeah.
Um,
And then like technically like Flygon and Garchomp with Twister, but again, there's Garchomp and Master League. Flygon's gonna be more of a limited meta pick. Um, and then I heard a few people were using Sucker Punch Wormadam and said it was like exactly okay. I don't think it's gonna be like meta defining, but
no,
it could be
definitely
something.
not. I think at that point you might as well just run Fortress, right? If you want to run a Bug Steel. Um,
Yeah, it's just different fast move coverage, right?
yeah,
Because you have such a
yeah.
fun.
I saw a
Of course,
decent amount of I saw a decent amount of Wigglytuff too, actually. Um, in this meta, which again,
yeah,
like it's just a symptom of like what's gotten good, but
right.
not really anything new, right?
Yeah, again, and then the
So
other, I think the other biggest thing is like the glide score, which again is it's ranked pretty low on PV Poke, and I think it's such like a little awkward and a little squishy, but like some people said they were doing well with it, so that's one to like keep an eye on, but it might be a little bit more like Poke than legit.
yeah,
I'd be happy to be wrong about that because it seems like a fun and interesting Pokemon, but I'm just not sure if it'll be like quite good enough to cut it per se.
yeah. Okay, well, that's going to do it for that section. Just because we'll see how things develop. When is the next tournament? Is San Juan's coming up like next weekend or
This
so,
weekend, I
or
think
this
it's
upcoming
this
weekend?
weekend. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, they capped at like some 30 something people, right? And then
Did they cap?
I think so. Yeah, that I think that's what some people said, but I'm not fully sure. Um, they should definitely probably have a cap. I don't know if they hit the cap, but my guess is probably. But anyway, is there LATAM or EU tournament before Houston?
Yeah, so it's San Juan's this weekend, and then next weekend is Curitiba, and the following weekend is Houston.
Is a EU tournament after Houston?
Yeah, Sevilla the weekend after.
Okay. Yeah, so none of these are really streamed unless Curitiba is going to be streamed. So I'm very curious to see how the results play out there. But
Yeah, and like San Juan is like probably going to be small. Like even last year was only like 20 or 30 people.
yeah, Curitiba is
I
probably going to be
mean,
a little bit bigger sample size in terms of like what teams might be meta relevant and stuff. But people team build a little differently in LATAM as well compared to NAEU. So
yeah,
um,
yeah. I'll be curious to see how many people actually compete at San Juan as well, because like just because someone signed up doesn't mean they're going. And we have no idea how many people are even signed up.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's hard to know like how big or small it might be.
yeah. Okay, let's talk about YouTube and popping comments, and we'll wrap things up because yeah, it's a slightly shorter episode than usual. We got a comment from the other Tristan, Triptondo, EU Tristan. Says all other Rotom forms had their signature moves already, just the lawnmower didn't. So while it may feel very random, it's actually nice they did it. The Captain Pichu buff is very random, but that could also just be a Pokemon Day / anniversary thingy. Oh, that is fair, I guess. I don't really like it. It's just they're just like weird like move sets to update. Maybe not like super PP relevant, but it doesn't really bother me personally because like when am I burning TMs on a Rotom anyway, right? So I think it's when they add a really random move that's not that good, like Zap Can to Probopass. Like bro, like we're already low on TMs, or this is back when they did. Like why make
right.
TM roulette worse? Whereas like nowadays TMs aren't that big of an issue, especially if you go to tournaments. And that's
I
probably a
will
lot of people
say,
that didn't
speaking
know.
of like
But
adding random moves, they added like Drain Punch to like a million things like a season or two ago, and like what's the point? And like Drain Punch is like still pretty bad, all things considered.
yeah, what's the
But
best Drain Puncher? I feel like there isn't even
I think the best Drain Puncher that actually uses it is probably Kanto Slowbro.
Kanto Slowbro. Oh yeah, it's at 256. Sableye has Drain Punch, but you're never using that.
Yeah, and
Quagsire has
Quagsire
Drain
has it too.
Punch. What
Yeah,
the
like they gave it
heck?
to like such random things.
Is there ever a world where you run Drain Punch on Quagsire though?
I don't think so.
You boost you
Outside of
it's you boost your
booster,
defenses and then
but it's still like it does such little damage that it's hard to justify it over like some of the other moves.
but doesn't it help your Empoleon matchup?
I mean, yeah, but like, what are you gonna drop?
Yeah, that's why we need a third charge attack. I
Because
don't
like, if
know.
you're running Aqua Tail Drain Punch, then you're walled by like
No, you
Ogino,
have to run
Aria, and
Stone
Jealous.
Edge. You have to run Stone Edge.
Yeah, but not running Aqua Tail is like crazy.
What do you really need it for?
Like just general neutral matchups,
Yeah, I
basically.
guess so. I guess so.
Like that's your main
Throwing
like
all
best move.
non-stab charge attacks is kind of rough with Quagsire, but
But yeah,
yeah.
it's the slow bro again. It's not like that good, but it's actually,
Slowbro is actually the only one that's recommended with the
but
moveset that's
it's like
decent.
it
Yeah,
has some like weird wins. Like it can beat a Azumarill shields up with just Drain Punch
and
Max too.
confusion.
It just
Yeah,
like confusions and then buffs itself, and then Azumarill like
honestly,
can't take it out,
if someone
and
brought a
like
Slowbro into my Zermo, GG's. Like I
and
respect
then
it.
also like it technically I think breaks a pull in Altaria too, but there's just better options for that. But it's one of those Pokemon that I could see some like Spice Master like picking up with it, even though it's
That
like
makes
not that
sense
good.
because I saw a Jonkiss thumbnail with a Slowbro on it the other day, earlier today. And I didn't know why because I didn't watch a video yet. But I was like, why is there a Slowbro on his thumbnail? But that does make sense. Well, thank you, Triptano, for the information on that. That does make a lot of sense. And we have some Podbean comments. Funny enough, we have more than just Jen on the Podbean comments. Jen's comment though was, "I'm going to miss 2 times transfer candy every month. Yeah, for the spotlight hour. You
Yeah,
know,
that's the big thing is like they're getting rid of all the bonuses,
yeah,
not just the spotlight hour itself, but the bonuses too. And like,
but
yeah,
they may add it to like other events, so I'm not going to be like super down on it just yet. Also, something I've been doing, and we'll see how long my storage holds up on this. I think it should be good though. Remember how last year the Halloween event, the Go Pass, like you get like 3 times transfer bonus, whatever, right, and all that stuff, and
yeah.
I missed out on it. Of course, I forgot to. Well, this time round, I ain't gonna miss out on it. So I'm stocking all my like traded legendaries and
Oh
mythicals
no,
for that, and I'm holding strong.
man, I'm
You
gonna
don't have to
laugh
make
if
it
they
past the Go
don't do
Fest,
that.
right? That's it, right? Like, there's nothing
I'm
else I can
gonna
do.
I'm gonna laugh if they don't do that bonus
Bro,
this
then I'm
for
waiting until
Halloween.
2027 Halloween. I'm waiting until there's that 3 times transfer, right? Because in the past, I would just transfer on the 2 times candy transfer, but now that there's a 3 times potential next year, please, Niantic devs that are listening, please do me a solid. Just run it back, right? I promise I'll be on top of it this time around. I even buy the premium Go Pass. Artemis D says, which I believe this is probably Artemis Dragon, says, honestly, I think the reason Kalos Global Tour felt mid is because we don't know where things are going now post Scopely. Also, you couldn't really target what you wanted because of RNG. Like, if I want to farm Malamar, I had to play all day and hope for a raid to pop, or spend a lot of money to remotes. Alternating between a target raid and a mixed bag of raids every hour would have been better. Yeah, preach on that. What did you
Yeah,
think of the global tour, by the way? Because obviously you didn't play the in-person one in Pasadena, right? So
yeah. So like before I answer your question, like on what Artemis Dragon said, I feel that like I got so frustrated by like the raid RNG this weekend because like Friday I was at the convention center for like a handful of hours, and I
congrats on
was
your
like,
background, Hundo Evelto, by the way.
thank you. But I was like hoping to get because like I had done some remotes like earlier in the day, and I was at a point where I was like, oh, like I have a decent number of XLs. I should be able to like finish off the XLs I need for Reshiram just by in-person raids. So like in-person raids are like way cheaper, and like you get more XLs from them too, and stuff. And then the RNG of like the gyms at the convention center was just like not in my favor because like any period of time where it was supposed to be like the Reshiram like hour or whatever, the gyms at the convention center were like basically all like Serum and Pikachu's.
Mm-hmm.
And like even during like the half hour, like the half of raid hour, that was like the like Reshiram time. It was like one Reshiram gym, and the rest was all Serum at the convention center.
Yeah.
And then like even like over the weekend, like I I was needing I had XLs for both um Yveltal and Xerneas, but I just needed better IVs. And then yeah, like you said, I got lucky and got the Hondo background Yveltal like pretty quick on. And then from there on out, it was like I mostly was just lying to raid like Xerneas and like Mega Dragonite. But then it felt like most of the gyms at the convention center kept popping up. Well, I also was doing like some hornets, but it felt like most of the gyms were then just popping Yveltals, which I didn't want anymore.
Yeah.
And so it was just like frustrating with raid RNG like across the board, I felt like. Um, and like I don't know like what the solution to that is. Because also like it's tough because everyone wants different things, right? Like some people would love to do like hone edges, but other people would rather do Mega Malamar or Xerneas or whatever it may be. So like I don't know. But on the Go tour as a whole, it was like exactly okay. I felt like the wild spawn pool was like so underwhelming.
Yeah. Very.
Like I legit like I didn't catch like hand catch many wild spawns all weekend, and most of the things I actually caught were like the Lapras and the Turtonators that we got from like the regional spawn pool instead. Like I was catching those way more than any of the actual like go tour wild spawns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so again, it sort of felt well. And then the thing too is like because we were just at the convention center, like I wasn't catching many eggs either, which was probably one of the other bigger draws, like trying to get like the shiny like Holucha and Clefty or whatever. But I didn't catch many eggs there because it was just stationary.
Yeah.
So then it just sort of came down to like raids, which I did a good number of raids, and like I said, the radar was certainly frustrating just from like what you saw. Um, and then like they had that thing like after 6 p.m. where it was like a random crapshoot of like any of the raid bosses that were available like during the like Road to Kalos event, which like was nice like having more opportunities at some of those. It's like I still need a freaking better Palkia Origin. And again, I was trying to finish off Reshiram and stuff, but that was just total crapshoot RNG too. And so most of the time it was spawning stuff I didn't want either. So I don't know. The event was like exactly okay. I had some fun playing it, but like I also was kind of happy that it happened to be like during Seattle, so I could sort of just do both at once. And
Yeah.
like
Just
I
watch
feel
and
like if I
catch.
was, yeah, I feel like if I was like grinding it hardcore, I would have been a little bit more disappointed in the event. But because I was able to like watch and catch and just like hang out with people, catch up with people, it made it better in that regard.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think?
I mean, similar thoughts to my thoughts last weekend, right? Or last week on the in-person tour. The only benefit of the global tour for me personally is that now I finally get the 5,000 Dragonite energy that I need, so I can finally finish that off. But outside of that, like again, I mostly just like I just say my because I mean not everyone has hundreds of these, but I already have 100 Xerneas and Veltal, so I wasn't really rating those at all. But for me, like I was just mostly rating megas of things that might have a super mega one day that would be relevant. So like I don't know if we even had Gyarados actually, but
I think we did. We had most of the megas. I
yeah.
feel like.
I was like, if it's not like really like I saw like a Mega Gardevoir, I didn't rate it because I'm just like, you're never going to use Mega Gardevoir in Mega Master League. So for me, like it's not really worth trying to save up for the 5,000. Like if I get
Yeah.
there one day, I get there, but I'm not going to really spend passes on it
Right.
right
Yeah,
now.
I probably should have rated more of some of the other megas, but I guess I sort of figured like, well, if they release like the what is it, Super Mega, Mega 4, whatever, of any of these other things, I'm sure they'll bring them back to raids at that point, so I
Yeah.
can just like deal with it then.
Yeah, and honestly, if they do have like a super max Gyarados, for example, then they'll probably have a super mega Gyarados raid down the road. So and those will
Yeah,
probably net you even
exactly.
more energy because I think the okay, some people said they could get 500 energy from a mega super mega raid, but most I've ever seen is 450. I've never seen 500. Um,
I honestly wasn't paying attention, so
I
I
was
couldn't
looking
tell
every
you.
time because some of them went down pretty fast, and I still didn't see. I was like, how fast did it take this out to get the 500? Unless there's like an RNG to it, which I don't think there is, but maybe there is. I don't know. But the non super mega raids, I think like the most you get was like 350 or something. I don't know, 250. I don't even know, but it wasn't a lot um, compared to the super mega. So if they have super megas down the road, I think people will be able to get plenty of entry on those still when they release those. But which I would assume would happen someday. Anyway, that's going to do it for the comments
Oh,
for the
one other
episode.
thing on that is I one thing I wish they would add as a little quality of life update is when you're going to like join the raids in person and you can like flip between like the like premium pass or like the link charges. I wish it would show you how many of either of those like currencies we actually had.
Oh, I had remaining. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't know. I was like, well, should I like what should I be using right now? Like I don't know how many link charges I have, and like obviously link charges I think are theoretically supposed to be easier to replenish, but it's like I was like, am I about to use the last of my link charges? Like I'd like to have a couple in store in case I want to like remote something later, but otherwise I'd rather use the link charges. So like just knowing like being able to easily see where you're at with like raid passes and link charges would be like really cool.
Yeah. Um, I think there's also a cap on how much link charges energy you get per day from gifts because I tried it and I wasn't getting any when I was kept opening gifts, and we could open like 100 gifts or so during the weekend. So,
Well,
um,
also, how many link charges did you have? Because I think there's like a cap of like how many you can have at a time or
no,
something.
I spent them all. I had zero.
Oh, you were at zero and
Yeah, I
then you
spent them all,
opened it.
so that's why. Because I
Okay,
was trying to do
gotcha.
more. I was like, "What the heck?" I'm not getting any, right? But they didn't specify exactly how that works. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's like super vague and confusing, so I guess we'll have to see when it
yeah,
comes.
yeah, not Niantic now. Come on, now they couldn't do that to us. But that's going to do it for us. If you want to support the podcast, feel free to check out our merch. It is in the description down below on all the platforms you might be listening to. And that's going to do it. We'll see how San Juan goes and how the meta updates. I know there's practice tournaments already underway for the season. And personally, I might have to take a look and play it out and see how it goes. But I don't think Annihilape will be that meta defining as some might think. But we'll see. Wouldn't mind being proven wrong either, because this version of Annihilape is not like counter down and then just hit you with hard hitting moves, right? It's a little bit different than what we're used to. So, but yeah, until next time, if you do go to San Juan, let us know what the experience is. I have no idea who is actually going to go. I know Josh Lee bought a ticket for it, but he hasn't bought his flights yet. So, but that's about the only person I know that's
Buying those flights right now is probably like so
yeah,
expensive.
it is. The Torian as well, I think, but Torian can't make it. But he did buy a registration for it. But those are the only two people that I'm aware of that have stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Enjoy the new season. Let us know what you think about it. And yeah, until next time.
Yeah, let us know what Pokemon you're liking.
Yeah, that's right. Don't use that Bastion. All right. Peace.
See ya.